If you're planning a trip to Vietnam, you've probably heard about the e-visa. It is honestly one of the best things the Vietnamese authorities have rolled out recently. It gives you up to 90 days in the country, and you can choose between a single entry or multiple entries. But I know that looking at government forms can be pretty intimidating, and figuring out the application process can feel a little confusing. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through the entire process step by step. We're going to cover the documents you need, the exact costs, and how long it takes to get the visa. So stick around, because by the end of this, you'll know exactly how to get your Vietnam e-visa without any stress. Let's get into it. The first step is making sure you're on the actual government website. I've linked the official page in the description below, since there are quite a few third-party sites that will charge you much higher fees for the exact same thing. So save your money and just use the real one. Once you're on the site, you'll see the key details. The e-visa is valid for up to 90 days. You can choose between single entry for $25 or multiple entry for $50, and that the fee is non-refundable. So if your visa isn't granted for some reason, you don't get that money back. There is also other info listed there that I suggest you read carefully. Once you've looked that over, you're going to click the Apply Now button. As soon as you do that, a page called Declaration Instructions is going to pop up. It reminds you that you have to declare everything honestly in English, and if they find any dishonest info, they'll deny it. It also specifies that this visa is for foreigners who are currently abroad, so you can't use this if you're already inside Vietnam. And most importantly, it shows you the full list of approved international border gates. You can't just enter the country from anywhere, so you need to look at that list and make sure your flight or bus is arriving at one of those specific approved spots. Once you've confirmed your entry point is on that list, go down to the bottom, check the confirmation boxes, and click the Next button to finally open the application form. The first section is all about your photos, and this is where you need to pay attention because they are strict. You need to upload a portrait photo of yourself. It needs to be a straight face, no hat or glasses, and a white background. After that, you need a clear picture of your actual passport data page. If these photos are blurry or cut off, your chance of getting rejected is really high, so take an extra second to make sure those files look perfect. Next up, you dive into the personal information section. You'll enter your last name, first name, date of birth, sex, nationality, religion, and place of birth, all of which must match exactly what's on your passport. Then you'll enter your email address and confirm it. You don't need to fill in the identity card field, since that's only for Vietnamese citizens. Right below that, there are 3 important yes or no questions you must answer. If you answer yes to any of these, you'll need to fill in extra fields providing more information. Now we move to the requested information section. This is where you choose your entry type, single entry for $25 or multiple entry for $50, and both are valid for a maximum of 90 days. You'll enter your intended date of entry plus the date you want the visa to expire. So while you can choose any duration up to 90 days, I generally recommend setting the full 90 days even if you plan to stay less. That way, you won't have to leave the country and reapply later if your travel plans change. Moving on, we hit the passport information. You'll start by entering your passport number. Then, you select the type of passport, usually ordinary passport, and then enter the issuing authority, the date of issue, and the expiry date. And there's another simple yes or no question asking if you have other valid passports. You'll need to complete this if you have dual citizenship. Moving down the page, we get to the contact information section. You will provide your permanent residential address and your current address. If you have not moved recently, these are usually just the same. Then simply enter your phone number and the details for an emergency contact, including their name, address, and your relationship to them. And right below that is the occupation section. Now, while it implies this is optional, I always recommend filling it out just to show you are transparent. It is very straightforward. Just select your job type, like employee or student, and fill in the basic info about your company or school. You really do not need to overthink this part. The next section is information about the trip, and this is very important. You will select your purpose of travel, which for most people is just tourism, and the date of entry will populate automatically based on what you selected earlier. The next fields cover your residential address in Vietnam. This should be your hotel or guest house address. You enter the street, select the province or city from the drop-down list, and then the commune. Now, for the most critical part, the intended border gate of entry and exit. You must select the exact airport or land border you will enter through. If you select a specific entry port, you must enter through it, or your visa will likely be denied at immigration. The system is much stricter on the entry point. The exit port is a little more flexible. You can select one, but if your plans change and you fly out of a different authorized port, that is usually fine, as long as you do not overstay the visa duration. Next, you declare your intention to commit to temporary residency compliance. You also answer a few more yes or no questions. If you are contacting an agency, if you have visited Vietnam in the last year, and if you have relatives there. If you answer yes to any of these, you must provide the corresponding details. Right after those questions, pay attention to item number 7. This is for accompanying children under 14 years old who share the same passport as you. If you have kids traveling with you on your passport, this is where you list them. Finally, we reach the trip expenses and insurance section. Even though it looks optional, I have heard from people who had their visas denied for leaving it blank, so do not skip this. I usually put at least $2,000 for expenses, and I mark yes for insurance. That will open a detail box where you are required to specify the name of your insurance. If you already have one, just type the name there. But if you do not have one yet, this is the perfect time to check out SafetyWing. They offer travel and health insurance built for nomads, expats, and families living abroad. It is super flexible. You can get coverage for a specific short period, like a 5-day vacation, or a subscription that renews every 4 weeks. It covers medical emergencies, trip interruptions, and even lost checked luggage in over 180 countries. So if you want to travel safer, you can scan the QR code on the screen right now, or click the link in the description to get covered. Then to finish up this section, you just specify who is covering the costs of the trip, which is usually yourself, and the method of payment, like credit card or cash. After reviewing all the information and confirming it is true, you will hit next. You will be asked to pay the application fee with an international card. Sometimes, due to bugs on the government website, the payment will be denied. If this happens, you unfortunately have to fill out the entire form again. After a successful payment, you will receive a confirmation email with your application code and instructions to wait. The processing usually takes 3 to 5 working days, but I recommend applying at least 10 days in advance, just in case there is a delay or a public holiday. You cannot correct the visa once submitted, so if it is denied, you have to apply all over again. Once it is approved, you will receive a final email with the result. You go back to the site, enter your details, and the application code to retrieve your visa. You need to print this visa out and present it, along with your passport, to the immigration official when you arrive in Vietnam. Showing it on your phone is not enough. In most cases, that is all you need to do, and the process is super smooth. But if for some reason they decide to ask more questions, especially if you have a lot of recent stamps in your passport, it is smart to be prepared. I recommend having printed copies of your hotel bookings and a bank statement just in case. And keep your exit ticket handy, because if they do ask for proof that you don't intend to stay illegally, that is usually what they want to see. Before we wrap this up, I want to quickly answer a very common question about staying longer. A lot of people ask if they can just renew this visa for another 3 months without leaving the country. And the answer to this question is no. If you want more time, you have to physically leave the country and apply for a new visa from the outside and then come back in. This is what people call a visa run, and while it is the only way to do it, remember that re-entry is never 100% guaranteed. I hope this video made the process easier for you. And remember that the link for SafetyWing is right there in the description below. If this content helped you out, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.